So we'll be dealing three important topics today. One is Streptococcus, Enterococcus, and Neisseria. We'll start with Streptococcus. You can see in the picture, they are gram-positive cocci in chain. Okay. So how we classify Streptococcus? First, on the basis of their oxygen requirement, we say them aerobe and facultative anaerobe or obligate aerobes. Obligate anaerobes. So obligate anaerobe example is your Peptostreptococcus, which is obligate anaerobe. So aerobe and facultative anaerobe, we further classify on the basis of hemolysis on 5% sheep blood agar. Okay, so you have alpha hemolysis, which is called partial hemolysis. You have gamma hemolysis, which is called complete hemolysis. Sorry, beta hemolysis, which is complete. Gamma, which is non-hemolytic. So you have alpha, beta, gamma hemolysis. Alpha is partial hemolysis. I will show you the picture. So this first picture is beta hemolysis, which is complete hemolysis. Gamma, which is partial hemolysis. So on partial hemolysis, you get green color discoloration. Okay. And your gamma is non-hemolytic. So you are not seeing any hemolysis when you put the Streptococcus colony on blood agar. 5% sheep blood or human blood can be used for culturing Streptococcus. As we know, Streptococcus is fastidious. So it cannot grow on the simple media, nutrient agar and other media. It needs blood agar or chocolate agar to grow. So we saw how the alpha hemolysis, partial hemolysis looks, beta hemolysis and gamma hemolysis look. Now, as we saw, it shows greenish discoloration. Now, if you see alpha hemolysis, you will check for optochin sensitive. OP disc, optochin sensitive. If it's sensitive, it's Streptococcus pneumoniae. So sensitive will be your pneumonia. If it's resistant, it will be your viridans or sanguis or Streptococcus mutans. So these are alpha hemolytic Streptococcus, but they are optochin resistant. Sensitive is pneumonia, resistant is your viridans, sanguis or mutans. Viridans and sanguis is responsible for subacute bacterial endocarditis, okay? And mutants, which causes dental caries. Beta hemolysis, which is complete hemolysis, and most of the human pathogen belongs to beta hemolytic Streptococcus, which we classify. We have one classification which is called Lancefield classification, okay, on the basis of C carbohydrate present on the cell wall of the bacteria. So Lancefield classification gives 20 types, A to V except ING. So among that, group A is your Streptococcus pyogenes, which causes pharyngitis, rheumatic fever, glomerulonephritis. This group A, which is Streptococcus pyogenes, is further classified on the basis of M protein, which is called Griffith classification. Okay, Griffith classification classified them into 1 to 80 groups. Okay. Now, so two classification we learned in beta hemolytic Streptococcus. One is your Lancefield classification, which classify into two serotypes, A to V except INJ, and that group A is further classified on the basis of M protein, which is called Griffith classification, that is 1 to 80. Okay. Gamma non-hemolytic is your Enterococcus. Enterococcus sometimes can show, apart from non-hemolytic, it can show gamma or beta hemolysis also. So we saw beta, gamma and alpha hemolysis. We saw beta hemolytic. We learned about alpha hemolytic, optochin and other thing. We'll start with beta hemolysis. Beta hemolysis is complete hemolysis. You have Streptococcus pyogenes. More pathogenic organism in beta hemolytic is pyogenes and Agalactiae. Pyogenes will be bacitracin sensitive. Okay, which is your group A. So group A, beta hemolytic, you can further classify on the basis of bacitracin sensitive. If it's pyogenes, it will be bacitracin sensitive. If it's resistant, it is Agalactiae. Apart from that, we'll see gamma hemolytic. We have Enterococcus. The species will learn Fecalis and Faecium, two species, which is more pathogenic to human. Then alpha hemolytic, you have pneumonia and viridans. If it's optochin sensitive, it's pneumonia. If it's resistant, it's viridans. Bisoluble will be pneumonia. I will show you the picture how the bisoluble looks. If it's non-bile soluble, it is your viridans. Capsulated will be pneumoniae, non-capsulated will be your viridans. So these are the differentiating point how we classify alpha, beta, gamma further. So beta, we use bacitracin. Alpha, we used two optochin we used. Then we used bile solubility, and then we use capsule, that is Quellen reaction. Okay, so if it's these all three are positive, it's pneumonia. If it's negative, it's viridans. So I have shown you this picture. Okay. Now we learned, like bacitracin sensitive is your group A, resistant is your Agalexia, right? Among resistant, if it's CAMP positive, CAMP is, this is your CAMP test, which we say Christie-Aitken-Munch-Peterson test. Okay, the short form is CAMP test. If it's CAMP positive, this is your CAMP test positive, where you treat Staphylococcus aureus beta hemolytic strain on the center, and perpendicular you treat the testing strain. Okay, if you see broad arrow-shaped hemolysis, it is positive for Christie-Aitken-Munch-Peterson test, that is CAMP positive, that is your Streptococcus agalexia. If it is negative, this is your negative. If it's negative, it is your other group, group D, okay, not A and B. A is your pyrogens, and your, because of bacitracin, you have already divided. Now bacitracin resistant, you dividing on the CAMP basis, CAMP positive agalexia, and negative is your possibly group D. Now, which all are medically important streptococcus? We learned, right? Pyogenes, which causes pharyngitis, rheumatic fever, acute glomerulonephritis, agalexia. Agalexia is one of the very important cause of neonatal meningitis. Okay, Enterococcus faecalis, which grows in high concentration of sodium chloride, and it causes endocarditis, UTI, biliary tract infection commonly. Viridans, which causes dental caries, endocarditis, subacute bacterial endocarditis. Pneumonia, which causes pneumonia. So these are the virulence factor of Streptococcus pyogenes. The short, we can remember a mnemonic: smashed. Streptolysin, M protein, anti-C5 peptidase, streptokinase, hyaluronidase, exotoxin, DNase. These are the pathogenic factor or virulence factor of Streptococcus pyogenes. Streptococcus pyogenes, the structural component cross-react with human tissue. So hyaluronic acid is present in Streptococcus. So this is the picture. Capsule will have hyaluronic acid. Okay, so this will cross-react with human synovial tissue, which is present in our knee. Cell wall protein. Okay, this will be cell wall protein that will your cross-react with myocardium. Then cell wall carbohydrate. You will have carbohydrate on the cell wall. Okay, carbohydrate will be present, which will cross-react with cardiac valve, heart valve. Then cytoplasmic membrane antigen will cross-react with vascular intima. Peptidoglycan will react with skin antigens. Okay, so these are the factors, virulence factor, which have learned. We'll learn streptokinase now, which is the enzyme. First enzyme we'll learn streptokinase. Streptokinase has medical importance because it lyses the blood clot. It is responsible for rapid, also responsible for rapid spread of organism. So IV injection of streptokinase we used for the treatment of pulmonary emboli, coronary artery thrombosis, and venous thrombosis. So it has a very much medical importance. Streptokinase we also call as fibrinolysin. Now streptokinase, which lyses the DNA and causes thinness of the pus or discharge. Then hyaluronidase, this also acts as a spreading factor. So the enterococcus has spreading nature of infection, which is because of hyaluronidase. Then C5 peptidase is there, which help in phagocytosis, which prevent the phagocytosis of streptococcus. Then you have streptolysin O. O is oxygen labile. S is oxygen stable. S for stable, just remember. O is oxygen labile. And streptolysin O, that is anti-streptolysin O titer. We check if it's more than 200. It gives a clue towards rheumatic fever. Okay, so ASO titer, streptolysin O titer, we check for rheumatic fever, rheumatic heart disease. Then streptolysin S you have, which is stable. Okay, so streptolysin O resembles other hemolysin, oxygen labile hemolysin of Clostridium perfringens, Clostridium tetani, and Streptococcus pneumoniae. So this is your exam question. Streptolysin O resembles which other hemolysin? Clostridium perfringens, Clostridium tetani, and Streptococcus pneumoniae. So pyrogens causes suppurative, non-suppurative infection, pharyngitis, impetigo. Impetigo is skin lesion, pneumonia, necrotizing is a flesh-eating bacteria. Because of that, pyrogens is called as flesh-eating bacteria. The infection spreads very fast. Okay, cellulitis, then bacteremia, otitis media, sinusitis, meningitis. Then non-suppurative, we have rheumatic fever or rheumatic heart disease and acute glomerulonephritis. So this is the erythrogenic toxin or pyrogenic toxin released by Streptococcus, and it causes scarlet fever. Now we rarely see this cases, but this is super antigen. We have to learn this importance. This is super antigen which causes massive release of cytokines and it activates T cells. Okay. Now coming to Streptococcus pneumoniae, as we can see in the picture, they are lanceolate shaped. Okay, and they have a capsule. This you can see the covering, that is the capsule of Streptococcus pneumoniae. And this capsule you can see in India ink, which we have learned earlier. India ink is done for capsule demonstration. Okay. And Streptococcus pneumoniae, as we have learned, it is alpha-lytic, so it shows green color discoloration on blood agar plate. And Draughtsman appearance. Draughtsman appearance we see in Streptococcus pneumoniae colony. When after 48 hours of incubation, colony starts dipping in the center, it's because of autolysin enzyme produced by Streptococcus pneumoniae. Now, what are the other virulence factors of Streptococcus? You have capsule polysaccharide, which prevents phagocytosis. All the capsulated organism, capsule prevent phagocytosis. It has pneumolysin, which damages the membrane. Okay, then autolysin, which releases the bacterial component in the infected tissue. And this autolysin is responsible for Karam-Coine colony or Draughtsman colony. So this is the optochin. When you put optochin disc on the plate, it is sensitive. And bile solubility test, this is the bile solubility test. Streptopneumonia, it will be positive. Inulin fermentation, this is positive, so inulin fermentation will be positive. So optochin sensitive, bile solubility positive, and inulin fermentation will be positive in Streptococcus pneumoniae. Then this is Quelleng test, which is capsular swelling reaction. When you use anti-sera, anti-capsular antibody will be there. When you use anti-sera containing anti-capsular antibody, capsule will swell. That is called Quelleng reaction. So you have pneumococcal vaccine, 23 valent pneumococcal vaccine and conjugate vaccine. Two vaccine, polysaccharide vaccine and conjugate vaccine you have. The polysaccharide vaccine is called PPSV23 and conjugate vaccine is called PCV13. It has 23 serotype, it has 13 serotype. And 23 is less immunogenic and this is more immunogenic. And it has protein conjugate as a adjuvant and it is very effective for the children less than 2 years. This we cannot use in a children less than 2 years. PPSV, a polysaccharide vaccine, less immunogenic, it's shorter duration, 3 to 5 years, longer duration. This is effective for carrier state, this is not effective. It can be used for more than 65 year or 19 to 64 year age group with risk factors. I will tell you which all are the risk factors, and this can be used in the children as a primary immunization. So which are the risks? Alcoholic, smokers, heart-lung disease, cochlear implant, CSF leak patients, splenic dysfunction, asplenic patients, sickle cell disease patient, chronic renal failure patient. These all are high risk group for streptococcal vaccine. So in that, what vaccine you have to give, this slide shows. how much duration you have to give. So afterward, you will give PCV. Okay, and 2, 4, 6 months booster dose, you will give 12 to 15 months. Now coming to Enterococcus. Enterococcus is bile esculin positive. Okay, group D, they belong to group D. Now they have been separated. We separately also tell it as a Enterococcus. Earlier they were placed in the group D. They grow in 6 to 6.5% of sodium chloride, grow at higher temperature also they grow well, and they ferment pyruvate. If they ferment pyruvate, they are Enterococcus faecalis. If they don't, they are Faecium. Okay. So bile esculin positive is their very important feature. This picture you can see, this is bile esculin positive, and they can grow in 6.5% sodium chloride. If they ferment pyruvate, they are faecalis. If they don't ferment pyruvate, they will be Faecium. Neisseria gonorrhoeae, which is diplococci, kidney shape, and they are gram negative. Okay, you can see the picture. They are pink in color. Pink color means they are gram negative. Gram negative diplococci, kidney shape, and they are intracellular. Their culture media, selective media for Neisseria is Thayer-Martin media. They can also be cultured on chocolate agar. If the specimen is non-sterile, we prefer Thayer-Martin media, which is a selective media. So they causes urethral infection, urethritis. This year NEET question you had, similar picture was given and it has been asked which organism it can be. So it is Neisseria gonorrhoeae. And inflammation of periurethral tissue can happen, and multiple discharging sinus can be seen, which is called water can perineum. Please remember, water can perineum is seen in Streptococcus pneumoniae. In women, it causes vulvovaginitis, salpingitis, inflammatory diseases. Drug of choice for Neisseria gonorrhoeae is your ceftriaxone for uncomplicated gonorrhea. Please remember, this also has been asked plenty of time, what CDC recommends for uncomplicated gonorrhea. Now meningitis. So meningitis is also gram-negative diplococci. Thayer-Martin is the culture media. They are oxidase and catalase positive and ferments maltose. Please remember, ferments maltose. And they causes, I will show you the picture, then you will understand better. They have virulence factor, capsule and pili. This is oxidase test. This near NEET question also, you have been given oxidase. So this the oxidase test look like, okay? If it's positive, you get bluish purple reaction within 10 seconds after using the test reagent. So few organisms are oxidase positive. One of them used Neisseria, meningitis, apart from the question which was in NEET about Pseudomonas, which is this. So this is the oxidase test. So this is your Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome. You can see it present as purpura. Okay, it is nothing but meningococcemia. When Neisseria meningitis comes in the bloodstream, you see this Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome, where you see purpura throughout skin. Apart from that, it will be having hypotension, adrenal cortical hemorrhage, and DIC. So treatment of choice is IV penicillin, chloramphenicol, third generation cephalosporin can be used. Prophylaxis for the contact is rifampicin and ciprofloxacin. Vaccine, you have monovalent and polyvalent capsular polysaccharide vaccine for group A, C, W135 and Y. Thank you.
Best training, peaceful environment, PG medical entrance exam preparation were my expectations. I got them at Speed Medical Village in Kanchipuram. Today, I am a PG topper.
Speed Medical Village, a unique eco-friendly campus dedicated for PG preparation. Speed Medical Institute, a complete solution for medical education.